team, my name's Justin. I'm a local filmmaker based right here in New Zealand. If you guys know where that is, it's a tiny little island at the bottom of the world. So the first key is appreciation. I don't know about you, but as a creative, I love it when people appreciate my work. So think about how great it would be for chefs to know that their work is appreciated, even before you make the content. So forget the content for a second, just sit down with them, have a coffee, have a drink, eat a biscuit with them. Have a sit down with them and understand what their key selling points are, or their USPs, unique selling points. And that sounds really commercial, but it's just an easy way to put it. And for this particular client, their USP was creating flavors that make a statement, creating gelatos that will stand the test of time. So something that has been really iconic in New Zealand over the last 124 years is hokey pokey. It is caramelized sugar with baking soda, all mixed in a pot with love and care and poured out onto the table and smashed with a wooden stick by your mate Ross. And anyways, that's how we want to make people feel when they're watching the video. So take some time, put yourself into their shoes, because they work really hard to make the food for you guys to eat or for you guys to shoot. So understand what makes them proud of their food. And on a practical level, this will really help guide how you are going to shoot your video. You're not going to spend 28 minutes on just filming the making of the gelato in terms of like creaming the ice cream and mixing everything together. That's like plain vanilla. Like literally, that's literally plain vanilla. We don't want to focus too much on that because it's not their USP. What we want to focus on is the hokey pokey. So that's going to dictate your first 15 seconds of the video, and you want to prioritize their USPs in the first part of the video. Otherwise, if it's a marketing campaign, people are just going to keep scrolling. So make sure you take your time to understand what their key selling points are. Key number 2 is adaptation. Sometimes you're going to walk into a pretty messy kitchen, and if that's the case, you're going to have to adapt. Thankfully with this client, they had a really clean kitchen. When you're stuck in a very confined environment, it can be really tricky to get the shots, but also for the viewer, it can be very uneasy and feel claustrophobic to a degree. So making sure you have a nice open space is really key. Secondly is lighting. Obviously lighting's super important, you hear about it all the time. But in this video, we wanted to keep things not so clinical and much more organic. So we just used the daylight. There was beautifully frosted windows in front of where the workbench was. And so letting that 10 AM light just fly through helped to give a much more natural, pleasing look to the hokey pokey. Part of adaptation requires you to look at your background as well. With any kitchen, there's health and safety regulations, so there's going to be posters saying make sure you wash your hands, especially now, you better be washing your hands. The key thing to consider is what your audience is not meant to see. Sometimes you need to press record first and then realize after the fact that you need to take them off, but you know, it's all part of the learning process. The final key that I want to give to you guys is anticipation. People in the hospitality industry work at an incredibly fast rate. You have no idea when they're going to stop, when they're going to start, what's going to happen next. Don't be afraid to ask them to do something a little bit slower. 2, 1, go ahead. And then pause for a second. Okay, 3, 2, 1, yep. Lovely. From a nice height, pull it up. Stop for a second. Okay, now I'll pull back a little bit. And then, yeah, go ahead, finish it up. Nice, excellent. Or even better yet, tell them, before you do something, just let me know, and it'll just help me get the framing right. It'll just help me get everything in order so that I can make your food look awesome. So always focus on the client and what they need and what they want. As long as we work together and we communicate, everything's gonna work out just fine. And if it's a one-taker and there's no sort of second, look what I prepared in the oven earlier, kind of fallback, make sure you get it right. It's kind of like a wedding kiss. You don't get to do it again. Sometimes you do, if the celebrant's a bit cheeky, but oftentimes that's a one and done kind of deal. So make sure you get it right, do it once, and go home laughing. So just to recap, the 3 keys are appreciation, adaptation, and anticipation. See what I did there? It made you anticipate my anticipation. You kind of saw it coming, so you anticipated the anticipatory explanation of anticipation. So as you can tell from this video, I didn't really give you any practical steps as to how to shoot this video. We can definitely cover that in another video, but for now, I just want you guys to take those principles, because I truly believe that principles predicate policies. So before you expend that energy to do something, make sure you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Because that's going to save you a lot of time, energy, and even money in the future. If you liked this video or it gave you a little bit more perspective, please do share that in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you're keen to see more, make sure you subscribe and press that notification bell to see more videos. That's what I've heard people say. Apparently it's helpful to do that. I honestly have no idea.